Are you driving your career, or are you being a passenger? In this video, I want to share some actions you can take to ensure you don't have to swallow the bitter pill of disappointment when you're passed over for a job that should be rightfully yours. Let me share a story. Philip was furious. He'd worked hard, stayed late, been loyal, exceeded his numbers, but missed out on the promotion he was expecting. When he asked his boss the reason, he was told that the other directors felt he lacked executive presence. Philip hadn't realized that he was missing the secret ingredient to success in a modern organization. And it cost him. It cost him big time. Executive presence is the ability to project confidence and gravitas under pressure. Executive presence is about the right kind of visibility, whether the meeting is in person or on a global call. Having worked with many managers and leaders to successfully develop their executive presence and get promoted, let me share just 5 actions with you that you can do starting today. Number 1, stand still and tall. People like Philip who lack executive presence have a mindset that their work should speak for itself. They don't realize that voice, posture, and gestures frame the message as important, or not. So if you don't want to be perceived as weak or lacking substance, next time you speak on the phone or in person, even before you open your mouth, stand up straight, own the space in which you stand, and speak confidently. Your mindset needs to be, I know my stuff, and these people need to hear it. This way, people will feel your confidence even if they're at the other end of a phone. Point 2, speak up. Some of us are indoctrinated with the mindset that silence is golden. But to be considered credible, we need a new mindset. I speak up to contribute value. I want you to choose to be a regular and valuable contributor to discussions. You don't have to have all the answers, but by sharing your perspective, you can demonstrate that you are working to be part of the solution. If someone else makes a good point, verbally agree. If you disagree, acknowledge their perspective, then share your viewpoint or your information. More about this in my next video, but for now, get your head in the game. Start contributing value through your perspective. Point 3, own it. People who are passed over or unrecognized often have the habit of discounting their achievements. This is driven by a mindset of false humility. I want you to say, if I've done it, it ain't bragging. That's right. If you've done it, it's a fact, not a brag. Look, I've given a speech to an audience of 12,000 people. Now, that's not a brag. It happened. Do I talk about it all the time? Of course not. But if I'm establishing my credibility with a conference organizer who needs to know that I can handle the job, then absolutely. So I want you to take appropriate credit for your hard work and your results. I want you to cultivate a brand, and that brand is of someone who is competent and gets things done. You can say things like, oh, that reminds me of when I was working on such and such project and we faced a problem like this and I was able to solve it by doing, and then describe what you did. Or something like, my value to this organization is my ability to identify customer experience problems before they happen, saving us hundreds of thousands of dollars in service recovery. 4, take a position. Having a mindset of being polite and avoiding being offensive may seem like a great idea, but not when it leads you to being perceived as a fence sitter without an authentic point of view. Just like point 2, speaking up, taking a position means that you are valuable and you should never feel bad or apologize for this. For your next meeting, I want you to demonstrate that you care about the best outcome by stating your position, by saying something like, I think that this is the best way forward. The mindset here is that you are a driver rather than a passenger in decision making. The trick to taking a position is to not make other people wrong. And the trick to that is never say, but. For example, that's an interesting idea, but. The moment you say, but, like that, you've negated everything they have said. Instead, say something like, that's an interesting idea, and I have a different perspective. Using and bridges two ideas, and if your idea turns out to be wrong, which it could, you haven't burned all of your bridges. Number 5, stop being a people pleaser. This advice might seem counterintuitive, and yet, if you think about it, nice guys or girls often finish last. The correct mindset shift here is from I need to be liked to I need to be effective. My advice is don't be too eager and offer to do everything. Instead, be a leader. Invite others to step up and take responsibility. You can then offer your support or mentoring to ensure the agreed actions are taken. By doing this, you say yes to the work that will make you shine and no to the things that are not in your wheelhouse or advancing somebody else's agenda. I'm not saying don't be a team player. Just make sure when it's your ball, you run with it. Apply these 5 steps and be blown away with the results I guarantee you will get. Now share this video with 5 friends because motivation is easier when you share your goals with those that support you. So what are you waiting for? And remember, you can't lead others unless you first lead yourself. This is Andrew Bryant, the Self-Leadership Coach. Until next time.